Hey, what's going on, guys? Ben, aka Sauce here, and today I'm bringing you guys another video. And if you're new around here, I upload Atlanta Falcons and NFL content all the time, so subscribe if you're new. But anyways, let's jump straight into this. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail today, I'll be talking about my Atlanta Falcons, and I'm just gonna preface this by saying, let me know if you agree or not in the comments. But this is the absolute rock bottom us Falcons fans have been at in the past 10 years. I mean, obviously, we have 28 to 3. That was what, 2017? That's, of course, like pretty close to rock bottom, the biggest blown lead ever in the history of ever. But at least we made it to the Super Bowl and had high hopes for the next year. And then obviously we went to the NFC divisional round against the Eagles the next season after being the Rams in the wild card. And then we lose on a heartbreaking fourth and goal, throw it to Julio Jones. Ticky tacky pass interference wasn't called though. We lose. And yeah, we haven't been back since. And I looked up our win totals, like projected win totals, like on sports books for like the 2020 season, 21, 22, 23, 24, and now 2025. Because I was going to say, I was thinking in my head, we might have it worse than any other franchise. Because, like, obviously being the Browns fan, I mean, they did make the playoffs more recently than us, but you know you're gonna suck. Like as a Browns fan when they went 0 and 16 and 1 and 15. But the Falcons, I feel like the last 5 years have had, at least the front office has told us that we are gonna make a playoff push and they have some hype around the team and then they just shit the bed. But after looking at it, 2020, our over under for wins was 7.5. Mind you, this was before it was a 17 or 18-week season, 17 games being played. So 2021, 7.5 again. 2022 ended up being 8.5. 2023, 8.5, and 2024, 7.5, and this year, 7.5. So we've been projected to be absolutely mid every single year. So there's no making a playoff push, there's no tanking, just absolutely mid. Of course, we've had the eighth overall pick multiple times. We took Drake London and we took Michael Penix and we took Bijan Robinson. We had the fourth overall pick, took Kyle Pitts. And yeah, speaking of Kyle Pitts, his contract's going to be up at the end of this year. And we're probably not going to be able to resign him. Um, as bad as this team is, obviously 3-7. I'll get to the current state of the Falcons, but our cap space is just non-existent. Um, with even with how bad we are, Kirk Cousins is still making a lot of money. If we cut him post June 1st, 2026, we'll take on $35 million of dead money unless we trade him, which obviously who's going to want to freaking trade for Kirk Cousins unless he absolutely puts on a clinic these next couple weeks without Michael Penix, so I'll also get to. Yeah, we're just gonna have to cut him post June 1st and get another try again to get another real backup quarterback like a Mac Jones or something because of Michael Penix's injury history, which I'll also get to. So yeah, right now we have about $4 million in cap space going into 2026 after the season ends and stuff. And that doesn't include signing our second round pick, third round pick, fourth round pick. So we're gonna have very little money. But let's first just talk about the state of the Falcons right now before we jump ahead in the future. I started this video by talking about the past. Now I'm about to talk about the present, and I hinted at the future, but I'll get there here in a couple minutes. So the Falcons right now are 3-7, third in the division, only above the 2-8 Saints, who we're going to end up playing next week. We look like our record at least indicates that we are fully trying to tank, and we have the number eighth overall pick right now, but it's not ours anymore. It is the Rams because of our trade to trade back into the first round to get James Pierce Jr. And now James Pierce Jr. has been a very, very good rookie edge rusher. And the trade itself, I'm still to this day, I'm not mad. I made a video the night of the trade. A lot of people are saying, how do you trade your first round pick next year for a, you know, bottom seven first round pick with, you know, it's seven picks from being a second round pick and you're trading your first round pick next year, that because it's the Falcons, it's going to be a top 10 pick. And of course, I was very delusional. I was like, we are not going to be in the top 10 next year. Come on, we have the best offense in the league. We got our defensive guys, and now here we are, 3-7. But yeah, we have the eighth overall pick right now. We have absolutely zero reason to tank yet. Like I said, our record indicates that we are a tanking team. So yeah, no first round pick next year. So we don't even have that to look forward to. Michael Penix suffered a partially torn ACL in this most recent game to the Panthers that we lost 30-27 and went to overtime. Um, I mean, I don't know. Michael Penix, this is his third ACL injury. The first two was to his left knee. Now on Sunday it was to his right knee. And it was partially torn, and the doctor said it was best for him to get a full reconstruction, putting him out for at least 9 months. That will have him come back mid-August, so right before preseason starts up. And he also has had a broken clavicle, which injuries to the breaking bones isn't really injury prone unless obviously you have degenerative joint disease or osteoporosis or osteopenia. But it that's not his fault. He's had an AC joint sprain, but like Drake London's had that. It doesn't mean you're injury prone. But obviously, tearing your ACL slash partially tearing your ACL three total times is pretty bad. He's going to be 26 years old going into next season with three major knee injuries, and it doesn't look good for him. A lot of Falcon fans are saying he can't start again, especially which I'll get to. If we have a new head coach, new GM, they're gonna want their own quarterback. They're not gonna want this guy from the old regime who, like I said, has just torn his ACL after already tearing it twice and hasn't looked stellar in his first 10 or so games, however many he's played so far. But yeah, in my professional opinion, I think we have to ride him out for another year. I don't think we'll be able to contend next year no matter what. So if we give him another year, if we do bad, we'll have a top pick to try to get a quarterback. The 2027 quarterback class, is supposedly really good. And then obviously, if he can stay healthy and he continues to build off of these past two seasons, then we can roll with him. But we're going to need to get a very solid backup quarterback like Mac Jones, as I mentioned earlier, or someone else. Maybe Kyler Murray if he's cut or trade for him for a late round pick. Maybe Justin Fields if they decide to go a different direction with him. Maybe Jacoby Brissett if the Cardinals decide to draft a quarterback and they don't want Jacoby Brissett anymore. But I saw a quote on Twitter which resonates with me. If you have two quarterbacks, you actually have zero quarterbacks. Obviously, meaning if you have a starting quarterback that you don't have full confidence in, either that he's a good player or that he can stay healthy, and you need to have a good backup quarterback at the ready, then you really have zero quarterbacks. So, yeah, that's where that's at. It's unfortunate. Um, we put our trust in this organization that generates billions of dollars every year that they would do their due diligence. Obviously, everybody in the country who watches college football or looks leaving glances at Falcons reports knows that this guy is super or has at least had an extensive injury history. And whether they were like, let's just hope he doesn't get injured again, or something told them that those were all just very low chance of happening. And this guy is built for football, and those were all freak accidents. Obviously, now it just seemed like his body wasn't built to withstand playing football, which is just unfortunate. I love Michael Penix. I think he's a great guy. I love his story saying you can you can have me do any test you want, but the only test that really matters is the EKG. It's my heart that his at is cold. But yeah, rest up, Michael Penix. I still want you to be our starting quarterback next year. People have said get Anthony Richardson, which I just do not. I don't know. I want the Falcons to get Justin Fields instead of Kirk Cousins or 2 off seasons ago. And obviously, you can see him now. He's not good. I feel like Anthony Richardson is, I don't know, at best Justin Fields because he has not looked good at all when he started with the Colts. But that's about that. Drake London has a PCL sprain and he's week to week. I don't know. Our season's lost anyways, and this isn't a long-term injury, so we might as well shut him down. To be honest, he's a dog though, and he's going to be our cornerstone wide receiver for years to come, hopefully. Raheem Morris, he's so bad, bruh. I see a lot of people. Of course, they look back to who we interviewed for our head coaching candidates before we hired Raheem Morris. Obviously, we were close to hiring Bill Belichick. Didn't do that. We interviewed the Ravens defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, who is now the head coach for the Seahawks, who are, I think, 7-3 they are. They're super good. They're in the playoffs right now. We interviewed freaking Ben Johnson, who we offered a head coaching job to, but he decided to stay with the Lions. We also we interviewed freaking John Harbaugh or Jim Harbaugh, whoever the freaking Chargers head coach is, and the Chargers are stellar. That looks like a home run hire. Like we interviewed all these guys, Mike Vrabel as well, Patriots 8-2, hired all these guys, and the guy we went with was the guy who was the interim coach for us in 2020, who went I think 4-11 as interim head coach after we fired Dan Quinn. Who Dan Quinn, I guess last year he had a good year, but not very good now. It's just I don't know. Arthur Blank, our owner, if you don't know, Arthur Blank is the Falcons owner. He owns the team. I feel like he's just so stuck up in his old ways. He loves friends and he loves putting his friends on, Oh, Raheem Morris, you used to be with us. Come back. Come on. Come on. You can be our head coach again, which I mean, I was okay with it at the time. Rams defense was really good. He was a Rams defensive coordinator. But obviously, looking back, it was not a good hire. He cannot manage the clock. He cannot use this stellar team and make it look any better than obviously 3-7. After every game, he's like, "We have to find a way to win." It's just, it's so bad. He did have a quote after Michael Penix went down. He said, talking about Penix, he said that this the guy is going to come back stronger for us, obviously next season, and it's just awful. I don't know why he's not fired yet, but also him saying he's going to come back stronger for us, saying it like as a team, as his quarterback. I just saying he's going to come back stronger for us, which I hope Raheem Morris is gone, and with him being gone. I think no matter what happens, that Zach Robinson, our offensive coordinator, is going to be gone. He's already been linked to going back to college to be head coach there. He just can't run an NFL offense at all. He's so stuck up with this pistol offense that is just so gimmicky. It's just too predictable. It's just awful. He was great last year. I loved him. I was like, he's going to be our next Kyle Shanahan. He's going to be an offensive mastermind. He's from the McVay tree. He was the quarterback coach for the Rams with Raheem Morris. And then he just shit the bed. It's just awful. And he needs to get out of here. And typically, when you get a new head coach, they want to get new coordinators. So whether Zach Robinson wants to leave, or Raheem Morris gets fired, he's getting out of there because he's whoever our new coach is going to be is going to get him out the door. But unfortunately, I really do like our defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich. He has done a stellar job. The Falcons are second in the league in sacks, only behind the Broncos. We are behind the Broncos by like 13 sacks, but we are second in the league in sacks. Um, he has done a great job. He, unlike Raheem Morris, has good quotes. He said they were asked about us having the second most sacks. He said, "We've gotten better," talking about the defense. Now, unfortunately, that second half against the Panthers is just such a poor reflection of the direction this defensive go is going. He's able to say, "Yeah, we've done a good job, but let's talk about the second half where we looked like shit from a butt." Um, but yeah, and Raheem Morris is over here like, "Yeah, this one's on me. We gotta find a way to win that." Like, what are we talking about? And so Raheem Morris gets to enjoy Kirk Cousins as his quarterback for the rest of his time as a head coach for the Falcons, at least hopefully. And Kirk Cousins, about the injury, said it was tough on Monday. I actually thought Mike would be able to go this week because he's so tough coming back from the first time. When we found out that wasn't going to be something he could just come back from for the practice on Wednesday, it was tough. And yeah, of course, Penix is having to get his ACL reconstructed. It's going to be 9 months. And yeah, people are saying trade for Mac Jones, take a flyer on Anthony Richardson. I think we should give Penix another year. And who cares if we don't have like we're not going to contend if we have Anthony Richardson as our backup quarterback. I don't even Jacoby Brissett. I don't think he's gonna do anything because if Michael Penix again, he is not below average. Michael Penix is at the very least a decent starting quarterback. If we're going 2, 3, and 7 with him, then Jacoby Brissett, I like we're not gonna be contenders. So ride out Penix. If he gets hurt again, he's donezo. We got to move on. If he looks good and we're contenders, then that's just an added bonus. And obviously, if he plays like hot ass, then we'd have a top pick and we just move on. So I'm not off the Penix train. Give him another year, see how that goes, and then go from there. That is my stance on that. But yeah, defense coordinator, I do like Jeff Ulbrich. I just think that if we get a new head coach, he's going to want to handpick his new coordinators, offense and defense. So he might be out the door, which I would really hate to see. Hopefully, whoever we pick wants to keep Jeff Ulbrich around, but only time will tell. And then as for GM, we might lose Terry Fontenot. He's been our GM for many years now. He signed Kirk Cousins, but he also, you know, signed Jesse Bates. Great signing. Signed Darnell Mooney. Great signing, at least last year. This year, he has been borderline unplayable. He, for the most part, I mean, obviously made the trade with the Rams to get James Pierce. He drafted Jalon Walker. He has been, I think, above average as a GM. I'd be okay with him staying, but I think just how shit our organization is, we just need a clean house. We need literally everybody gone from the coaching staff to the towel boys to the water boys to the strength coaches, just everybody, just a whole new everything. We need new uniforms. Our uniforms are so bad. Literally like bottom three uniforms in the league. It's just we need something brand new. Something that's not I mean, our team on the field can be so much better than 3-7, but they're just not. It's been said that Darnell Mooney and Jesse Bates are both options for trading them away to recoup some draft or both draft capital and salary cap with us not having a first round pick. So, yep, Tyler Algier and Kyle Pitts are free agents. I said this at the beginning of the video. Kyle Pitts, his contract is up. We're probably not going to pay him or Algier due to having so much dead money from Kirk Cousins and needing to get a new quarterback to back up Michael Penix. Um, yeah, I mean that's about it. We don't have a kicker. That's also just organizational malpractice. I mean, Young Hoku was so bad at the end of last year. I was so done with him. I was like, okay, this guy's done so. And then we give him another year, and because he started week 1, he got like 7 million guaranteed. He was the highest paid kicker, and then obviously he missed the game-winning field goal. That's like a 35-yarder or something, and then we decided to cut him after just giving him $7 million, which we should have cut him in the offseason. And we got Parker Romo, who went 5 for 5 on field goals that were like all within 40 yards. I was like, this does not tell us anything. And then everybody was jumping on the bandwagon for Parker Romo. Then he ended up being ass and missing every single kick. And then we have Zane Gonzalez now, which is he's fine. He's cool. He made a 50-yarder, which none of our other kickers could do. So that's about that. That that's just like the epitome of the Atlanta Falcons. So yeah, uh, that's about that. Falcons are in hell. This is rock bottom. This is what it sounds like to listen to somebody who is in love with the game of football and their team is just at rock bottom and shit from a butt. So if you feel the same way, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead, like the video, comment down below what you want the Falcons to do. Anything, if you want to just if you just want to drag the Falcons, do that in the comments. If you want to try to have a light at the end of the tunnel, comment, put that down below. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. It's been 22 minutes of me yapping here. Um, thank you, and yeah, goodbye.